Hello all, Alison here. Welcome back to Words and Pictures for a few minutes of fun. No prizes for guessing what we're having fun with today. We've got some grasses and we've got some gel plates to the very suitable accompaniment of somebody outside mowing grass down. That's what I've got to do later, and I stepped out into the garden to just take a look at what's facing me and saw such beautiful grasses that I changed what I was thinking I might do today and just thought I've got to grab the gel plate, no question. There are some seeds coming off these, so that's going to leave flecks on the gel plate. We'll deal with that as we go. I've got various paints here. I've got heavy body acrylics. I've got the Fresco finished chalk acrylics. I've got some media fluid acrylics, and I've also got some infusions powders because I just thought we might throw something like that into the mix. Various papers as well, so basic printer copy paper. I've got some crafty rice paper. No idea where I picked that up, but I've been shopping my stash as well as shopping my garden for supplies. This is tracing paper. This is Blick's tracing paper actually, that I picked up a pad of it one time when I was working in the US. So I'm gonna play for a little bit. In fact, I'll probably play for a long time because it will be good procrastination because I don't want to mow the lawn. I don't do a full mow, not before the end of May. I do a no mow May, although my Czech neighbours do look at me slightly strangely. They're cutters of grass here. They haven't really discovered no mow May yet. If you haven't discovered no mow May yet, it's quite a big thing in the UK. You don't mow any grass, any lawns for the whole of May because it encourages wildlife. It helps the diversity of both grasses and insects and all kinds of things. So yeah, it wouldn't work in Czech anyway. What would it be? Nesekat května. Not cut in May. Lots of there you go. I don't know, what should we start with? Let's start with putting some paint on. We need paint. I'm just going to work with a sort of mixture. I'm going to mix my paints, literal mixed media. I'm going to put some of that chalky one on. That's Waterfall. I will, as always, list the ingredients used in the description down below. This is the media fluid acrylic by Decoart, Cobalt Teal hue. Notice there's a little bit of dried paint on the top of there, so let's remove that so that this can shut again. Do I want another colour? Maybe I'll put some green in. Maybe some sort of, ooh, yeah, vivid green. Let's go that. Let's do a simple paint print to start with. Got the Brayer, and I'm just going to go straight onto here. I could do with some scrap paper to the side really to clean off the Brayer if I want to. I've got two gel plates here. I've got the 6x6 and the, I don't know, what's that, 3x5, I would say that probably is. My Brayer is not the cleanest in the world, and I like that because it leaves little bits of texture in places. And I'm just going to put some grasses on here and let what happens happen. That seems enough for a first go, doesn't it? Maybe one coming up the side here. As these get more pressed as we work, I will save these stems because I can use the pressed painty stems to stick onto other projects. I like having those pressed grasses around. So the key to this is to really get your fingers down around the grasses to get as detailed an image as possible on that. And then you can go back in for another print to pick up that grassy thing with this piece of paper. Or what I quite like to do is go in with a separate piece of paper to pick up the grassy imprints. Let's see what we've got. We've got some lovely shadowy stems. See, for me, that's already interesting enough that I don't need to faff with it. I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to see if I can get in there fast enough to pick that up exactly as it is. Otherwise, you need to let it dry there completely and then pick it up with a different layer of paint. We'll do that at some point, undoubtedly, over the course of this. Let's have a play with some other paper for the next one after this. There we go. As you may have seen, there were some little seed heads got caught on the plate there. Either this piece of paper will pick them up, or we'll pick them up with a pair of tweezers as we go. I mean, seriously. Yeah, and they have been picked up there, so as that dries, they'll just rub off. There are some left on here. Little spritz of water is usually the thing, and either a wet wipe, or if you've got enough water, then some paper towel should be enough to just... If you've got a stubborn one, you can go very gently with some tweezers, but whatever you do, don't dig your tweezers into the gel plate. That would be a pity. I'm fine with a few of those being left on there because they'll make, as I say, nice white flecks in any print we're making. Right, let's see what happens if we put some paint on. What should we do? Maybe we'll have some dark. This is Inky Pool, which is a very cool colour, and maybe some peppermint. That might be nice. That's a very pale off-white, really. That's la la la. I may even do some non-grassy prints with some of this, because then I've got plain backgrounds. So while I'm here, I may do some that are not grassy at all. That's all mixed up rather nicely, and yeah, I'm just going to clean the brayer off on this piece of paper here, because that gets me another nice background in the making. Good. I think I might just pick that up on some of this craft paper. I'm quite curious to see what that looks like. So let's just go into this corner and pick up paint. Ooh, you can see as it goes on, those creases, they're going to leave a nice texture behind as well, I think, that we can maybe pick up with something else. This is, hopefully, the paint will make it moist enough that it will become slightly transparent. Yes, there's... Ooh, that's really quite exciting, because where the creases were, you're left with the kraft. And I'm going to come straight on again with a piece of this and pick up that. I'm working with a piece of the same A4 paper underneath, so that if I did want to go back down and pick up over the top, I can line it up with that to do it. We may not end up doing any of those sort of double prints, because the grasses are good enough by themselves. And now these creases are as well. That's kind of magic. And stamping some botanicals over that will be scrumptious. So here's a little bit of paint, a little kind of squidge of paint. Let's try one that's all fluid. I'm just curious, because it's sort of more like ink in how it goes on. These are also brighter, bolder colours, so this will be a different kind of look. Let's go. There's a little bit of chalky stuff on the... Oof, that's a bit too full on for my liking. Good grief. That's, yeah. Oh. Go on, let's do it. We'll see what we get. I'm going to use those same sort of grasses, because, as I say, they've got now some paint on them, which might also give us something quite nice as an effect. So the same stems in a slightly different arrangement. Let's pop you there. Oh, the mowing is... I didn't really need that today. But, yeah, people need to do what they need to do when they need to do it. There we go. Again, I'm just going to make sure I get down into the cracks and creases as much as I can. Partly because it's more fluid, maybe there is a thing where the paint gets in between a little more efficiently. Let's peel that up. Now here's what I mean about the double print. I think I might try and put these over here and see what I get. It's probably going to be subtle, but if I line up approximately with my papers, and I'm sort of approximating to the plate underneath because I know I wasn't quite flat at various points. Let's see if we can pick those up with this while it's still wet. The fluid acrylics should stay wet, hopefully, for long enough for this to happen. Fresco finish chalk paints dry quite quickly, unless you use them mixed with a medium. Oh, there we are. How's that? So there's bright green grasses over that lovely creasy background. I'm going to need another creasy background though at some point. Right, might give that, I can see little grassy seeds again. So I'm just going to get rid of those because I don't want to press them into the gel plate. I don't want to get to the stage where I'm compromising the surface of the gel plate that much, I think. This is my much loved Smalt hue, which has a kind of mystical magic to it. It's a fairly translucent colour. I'll leave what's on here. Let's see what we get. So yeah, the translucence of Smalt hue is quite interesting on the gel plate. There's already lovely texture on there. I'm going to go for another of these. Let's line it up next to here. Just to see what I get. Oh no, let's go tracing paper. I haven't done one of those yet. Can I fit 2 6x6s on a piece of tracing paper? Maybe I can. It's very slightly larger than A4. Being American, A4 is not a standard size in America, if I remember rightly. Slightly less creasy, but it will give us a lovely, slightly translucent surface, which for layering into journal pages will be quite interesting, I think. Let's have one of our nice clean-up prints where you get a much more watery look. And this one, oh, this one might be quite nice to put some infusions on, mightn't it? Let's just see what we get. This is slimed, a little bit of greenery, and it will have a touch of grunge because all infusions have a, oh, look at that spreading out. All infusions have a little bit of walnut stain in as well, walnut granules. So there's always a slight grunginess to them. I'm quite inclined again not to go with grasses. It's too fluid for the grasses to really, it would be a very watery impression of grasses. Let's see what that does. Oh my word. Right, well, we're going to be doing that again, aren't we? That's positively Monet-esque. Let's see if we can pursue that thought with a little bit more Smalt hue, which I think is going to be the key to getting the lily pond idea. And keep working with infusions as part of the mix. I might try and keep the blue to the lower part of what's going on. Just nice and soft. Clean up a little bit. I kind of want a little bit of purple in here because that's very Monet-esque. So this is lavender. A little touch of that somewhere in there. So now I'm on a whole different run. Grasses. It's all gone somewhere else. A little bit of that. Little spritz of that. Let it spread out. Maybe a little shoot it up into there. Quite nice to have some sky, wouldn't it? This is Azure. The Azure skies. There it goes. That's exactly what should be up there. Come on, out you come. Are you blocked at the top? Yes, you are. Okay. Can't expect you to come out if you're blocked at the top. I will unblock you in a minute. But for now, what I want is a little bit of that up there. It's quite a purpley blue. So that's also going to serve my Monet turn. I'll do another little... That's now very wet on there. I might just pick some of that up. Just a little bit. And then what we get is what we get. I'm sort of painting on the gel plate now. Let's see what it is. I can feel that slightly moving around, I think. Quite unusual. Usually you get a grip. That's exciting. Very exciting. More infusions, more water. I'm in a watery mood now. Let's maybe pick up one of these onto the kraft like I was thinking just now. So let's line up so we don't overlap with the other one. There it is. And again, I'm thinking these I'll cut out later, use it on journal pages, use it as card backgrounds. Ooh, that's interesting. That paint's coming straight through. Can that be true? It felt really slippery down in that corner. I'm going to press on for that wrinkly crinkliness. Subtle, but quite interesting. Good, let's clean that off a little bit. And let's go for sort of Monet colours, but with grasses this time. So what we might do is go, Smalt hue, there you are. Smalt hue, somewhere in the mix down here. Maybe some purple next to it. Maybe some green heading up to the sky. Do like a bit of Seaglass, so we could have a go there as well. Yeah, that's looking happy. And I'm going to approximately try to keep those in their stripes, but not completely. I'm going to let a little bit of mixing happen. Just create a kind of, oh, yes. Let's get some grasses onto that. Same ones, different ones. That's nice. Got a little blade of grass there as well. Regular grass. Let's have a couple of these big ones because they're beautiful. Let's have one of those maybe down there. And one of those maybe coming through in the other direction. That might be quite nice. Right, I think we'll start with, well, maybe we should have tracing paper. Let's see what we can get. If I can't get another 6x6 on here, what I can definitely do is get one of these smaller prints on the other end of my tracing paper. One of the things I love about this is the never knowing quite what you're going to get. You can't be sure. Let's have a look at that. That's pretty magical, colours wise, grasses wise. Okay, so for this one, because we've got quite interesting things left on there, I think again I'm going to try and do a pick up straight without letting it dry and then using up the paint to pick it up. I think I'm going to go straight with there. And while I'm looking, I can see there's something quite interesting on this brayer here. So I might just put that straight onto here. Yeah, look at that. I need to pick that up somewhere. Oh, well, maybe on these pieces of tracing paper. I have to move with reasonable dispatch, reasonable speed with this game. Particularly if you're working with paints that dry quickly. Where's that used piece of paper? Let's pick that up with that, because that just looks like a lovely painty texture to me. I'm not going to press too hard. I'm going to leave some there to be picked up again. Should have done it the other way and then I'd have had room. La la la. I want to do another infusions one. I enjoyed that. Right, let's put some Waterfall down. I'm going to leave that to dry because I can pick it up in a minute with something else. Or maybe what we do is do one of those drying ones over here. Let's just use Waterfall plus whatever's on the brayer, which is a bit of Smalt hue, there's a bit of this, there's a bit of that. Let's do a touch of Violet Storms. So I never take my lid off my infusions. I've got a little hole in the top there so that I can just get a few grains of powder. Otherwise you get infusions all over the desk, and yeah, that's not something you'll enjoy clearing up, I guarantee. I want something quite absorbent on that. Oh look, well, there's a little corner of this left. just about the right size for that. Yeah, again, when it's very watery, it feels as though it's coming through. I don't think it is. Oh, it slightly is. Well, that's fine. That's full saturation of the paper with the... Look at the moodiness of that. Magic, magic. And there's another one here to pick up. Piece of paper, please. Another piece of tracing paper. Can I pick two if I go that way? Just. Maybe even three. Look at that. That's frugal. Let's see what that is. That's magic. That's Waterfall paint with Violet Storms infusions, and I think we might need to do that again. This was Waterfall, wasn't it? So we're set up to do that. So I think what I might do is put down the grasses. So you can see as they get flatter, they're slightly easier to print with as well. The pressed ones, you can absolutely press grasses in advance and have them be flatter, but not if you've just this minute picked them in the garden. That won't work. Just wondering if I can add a little bit of Violet Storms over and around that. What will that give me if I don't spritz with water? Not much, because it won't spread out. I don't think the paint is wet enough to let it spread out. But then maybe just some gentle spritzing of water. Oh, don't move, grass. Let's see what I got. Yes, yes. Happy little moments of infusions in amongst our grasses. So let's pull this up. Ooh, that's pretty. What should we put it on? Regular paper, I think, so we can see it. And I was hoping that the infusions might sort of shoot under the grasses a little bit. Wowza. So interesting. So little hints of grass, hints of infusion. Time to clean this again, I think, because there are little bits of seed head all over it again. The one reason a wet wipe might be better than paper towel is obviously paper towel's got a texture which can leave a mark on the plate, but it's more texture. Why wouldn't you want it? I kind of want another of those. Where's the piece I'm gathering those on? There it is. Okay. Let's see if we can fit a second one in the middle here. It's going to be a lovely trio. Just picking things up. And then I think what I want to do is just do a bit more experimenting with the infusions. So that's lawn. This is peppermint. We could go with a little bit of this bright cobalt teal hue again, couldn't we? There we go. Just a touch of it. What happens? What happens if I put a bit of infusions on before I do my brayering? Do love a bit of what if. What if-ery. Can't see much going on in the way of infusions there. Let's put the rest of this on here. Go, and I'll put a little touch of, just trying to get a bit of that going. Lightest spritz of water, just to activate those infusions. You can see that's picking up. Gonna let that just spread a little bit. I think time is probably also your ally with this, much in the same way that watercolors will get on and do something else if you leave them for a while. Yeah, look, that's starting to create. swirls and patterns. Let's pick it up and see what we get. Well, that definitely moved around. That's because I've got so much paint on the surface there. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let's get one of those on tracing paper, because there's plenty of paint still. Like so. That's scrumptious. I'll pick this up while I'm here. Yum. Yum. I think there's probably also, for instance, on this one, enough infusions on there that if you wanted to give that a spritz of water, you could move some stuff around as well. I'm going to go with adding some infusions to this. This is the Violet Storms infusions, so this is going to get very moody very quickly, but I think in a good way. Maybe I'll try picking that up onto, well, we might as well try with the kraft. I'm not sure it's going to be very good on the kraft, because the translucent ones, as you saw, just kind of go straight through. I think you're better with paint on there, actually. I'm gonna go with regular paper instead. Oh, book pages. I haven't got any book pages. Dash it all. I might go and rip some pages out of a book. I usually have book pages on standby as well when I'm doing this. Maybe we don't for today. Oh my word. Okay, so infusions come with a number of colours in them. So that Violet Storms has bluey purples, clearly pinky purples, all kinds of grunginess going on in there. That's a very wet print, but I'm not averse to it. I think I am going to try picking up some of that on here and just seeing, because it's so dramatic, it might work on this creasy paper. And then what I must do is one more creasy one that I don't put grasses over, I think. Sort of quit on the grasses. See, yeah, I'm kind of right with that. I mean, there are some interesting textures there, but it'll be better to do some paint over the top of that. Let's go. Waterfall. Whatever's on here, which is a combination of stuff. Definitely some greens. And then what I think I'm going to do is pick up some of that Infusions and add it like so. And then I've got two things that are going to be worth picking up here. I'm just going to take that one straight over the top of that one that I don't like from just now. I'm going to put paint onto there. Because with the paint, oh yes, yes, very nice. Let's pick this up. And now we've got a creasy pattern that we need to pick up before it dries. Or, I could leave it and pick it up with a different coat of paint. Nah, I don't want to spend time waiting for paint to dry today. I'm going to work. I'm going to work by just keeping going. I'm sure I've done the letting things dry and picking up with a thin coat of other paint in previous videos. So I will, in fact, if you just go to, look at those creases through there. If you go to my channel page, so the heading where you can see me and all the videos, and just put gel plate in the search bar, you'll get all the ones that have happened before. This is probably not going to work very well because it's too liquidy there. I can see that, but I'm just curious. I'm curious. Oh, hush, train. That's the little train going through the valley below. It's two tiny carriages. You wouldn't think it needed to make so much noise about it, would you? Let's see what that is. Oh, that is quite interesting. Without being specifically grasses, it's got a kind of organic content to it. Let's pick those up. See, those I feel like I'd like to try and... They've got paint on them. Well, no, because let's not squash them too much, because as I say, I can glue them down in future to other things, I'll probably press them. I can't decide what to do. I'm going to stop in a minute. One says this with gel printing. One says, I didn't unblock that, did I? I'm only going to do one more, one says to oneself. And then 35 prints later, you're still at it. A bit of Waterfall, a bit of Lavender. Come on. Why don't you start? There it is. Maybe a bit of green. Maybe not a bit of green. Maybe we take a bit of green from the slime. Or a bit of green from the... This was the bright green gold, wasn't it? That's bold. Let's see what we get. I am going to clean the brayer a little bit because that's got quite a lot going on it now. Let's get this onto here. Look how that green just kind of catches light at the bottom there. That's quite scary. I don't know if it's scary in a good way or not. Let's do another on here because we've almost done this whole sheet of kraft now. Although that's very painty. I think I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Again, just taking that onto a spare bit of paper. Let's take a bit of paint off here. Maybe we should go for another grassy one. Since that was the thing that started this whole playtime today, was finding the grasses out in the garden. I feel like we should probably take advantage. Down there. What are you? You down there. Good. Let's put that onto... I just said I nearly finished. Oh, I was going to do that, wasn't I? Let's do that. Let's put this here, and then we can fit one in between, probably. There we go. So that is coming through. Look at that. That's properly absorbent paper, absorbing all the way through. I'm going to try and get between those grasses. Oh, look, you can sort of see the print. You can see the silhouettes arriving even from the back. That's exciting. That one I do feel like I might allow to dry and pick up, having said I wasn't going to do that. So let's set that to one side. Play with this little one for a minute. And then we'll see if we can pick up that final print as a finale. Let's get a bit of water onto there. Look at that grungy goodness. Let's grab a couple of... Oh, look, there's a whole sheet of paper here we can do. I'm not going to pick up fully. I'm not going to press down completely because I want to leave... Yeah, I want to leave a secondary, maybe even a tertiary available. Yeah, it might be worth a little spritz of water just over there to just wake up some of that. What a collection. That's a trio and a half, isn't it? Very good. I'm still waiting for the other thing to dry, so I might do one last little bit of playtime on here. That's Waterfall. Lost the Brayer. Plus whatever's on the Brayer, which is all those blues and greens from before. Plus some slime infusions. Hopefully we get a nice grungy brown lot. You never know which bits of powder you're going to get out on any given day, of course. You get all kinds of different variations. That's the joy of infusions, the unpredictability, the variation just built in to using it as a product, as a pigment powder. That's phenomenal. Let's have the secondary. And all of these you can stencil over, you can stamp over. Look, I've printed some paper onto, printed paint onto the craft mat there. That might be one of my favourites of the whole session. So it is sort of a combination of wateriness for me that lights my fire. I love when things are less solid when things have a fluidity to them. Probably one of the reasons I'm drawn to watercolour paints. There we go. Let's see what that one is. That's more of a pickup than anything else. That one's got the magic. Let's see if we can. You can never. Trouble is, you can never quite recreate. Let's go with a bit of Seaglass. That again is the dried paint out of the lid. Seaglass. Again, there's still some bluey greenness going on already on the. Do we want the purple or the? I think I'm going to go the green. I think I've got enough purple going on. Spritz of water. That's going to be quite juicy. I wonder if we can get that onto here. Got a little gap here in my kraft thing that it seems a shame not to use. Such painty fingers. Always the sign of a good time. Yeah, that's rather pretty. Let's grab the pickup with this. Oh, well, hang on. Must have some space somewhere. Do I still have a piece of tracing paper with gaps on? Yes, I did. There we go. Let's have you on there then. Spreading those infusions out a little bit. That's subtle but really nice. One last thing. What? Azure. Maybe a bit of Azure. Having gone to the trouble of cleaning it out, getting it open. Let's have a bit of Azure plus, again, whatever's on the Brayer. That's nice already as it is. Let's have it. Let's have it exactly as it is. Yes, let's put some more of that on and have a couple of grasses. Don't do that. That's not where I want you. Maybe the one grass. No, two. And let's go in like so. Oh, that's a beauty. Let's pick this up as well. Again, one could leave that to dry and pick it up with another layer of paint, but I think it's wet enough for me to be able to get it. Yes, it is. Magic, pure magic. And this is why you have to keep going when you're gel printing. Because the next print might be the one. And that was very much the one for me of that. And now I've got a record of how I got there. If I come back and watch the video. Well, that whole page. That whole page has rather won my heart. The detail in there is scrumptious. And look at these, ready to go onto another project. Or over one of these. Look, I mean, look at that. Glued down with some matte medium. We'll maybe do that another day. Right, time to, hopefully, pick up. I might just do a mop-up print here just to get that clean. That really can go on scrap paper. There's my scrap paper. Just to pick up any remnants of paint that are on there. And you never know, sometimes you get a nice little bonus. No, that really was just water. Good, so you to one side. Let's hope this has dried and flicked a bit of water at it, annoyingly. Other than that, I think it's probably dry. Not completely dry. I wonder what happens if one gives it just the gentlest. Don't want to melt the gel plate. I don't think you will, because you can heat to pick up paint. And then I think what we'll go in with, this I am going to clean the brayer for, because I want my background pretty clear. Infusions on my brayer now. Look at that, that's a walnut crystal. Very definitely. Right, you get out of the way. And I think what we use is a mixture of white and Titan buffs. This is titanium white. Oh, which it's not going to let me open. Yes, it is. Sometimes have to get the French wrench out for these things. I think I was saying that the other day. Oh, with the watercolours, yes. Who knew a French wrench was a necessary tool in the craft room? And a little bit of Titan buff. You don't want this layer too thick. Oh, I don't want to go and fetch the French wrench. Thank you. There we are. So I will have my brayering sheet on standby in case I need to lift up some of this paint if there's too much of it. I just like this as a background because it's not bright white. It has a bit of texture of its own to it. And it's quite good if you can get this thin enough that you can sort of start to see the grasses below. Yeah, I can see that stem coming through there. So let's just see what we get. And this I am going to pull on. Well, I could pull it on something a bit nicer, couldn't I? No, again, it's playtime. It's not deathless art for the ages. But you can absolutely, if you can see something good or you think there's going to be something good coming off the gel plate, pick up a piece of slightly better card or even watercolour paper, something that's going to do your print justice. So with this one, I'm using that top wet layer of paint is hopefully going to meld with what was dry on the gel plate and pick up all of it together. So as that peels back, you get yourself, that's another one that is the print of the session. And the sun comes out to celebrate. Grand. So I'm going to cut these so that we can see them more clearly. I might just do a little clean up print. Pity I haven't got any of that kraft left, because I think that would look rather nice on the kraft. I haven't got any spaces there, have I? Or have I got some that I'm not interested in? Don't think I'm particularly interested in that one. Let's put a layer over the top of it. Line it up-ish. Since it's a texture print, I'm not terribly bothered about it moving around. I think that might be a bit more interesting on the kraft than the watery one was. I'm right. That's a scrumptious texture. One more to just clean. You can obviously do cleaning with a wet wipe. For me, that's a little bit boring. By the time you get to these watery prints, see how the paint kind of on the surface of the gel plate just runs away from itself. And that can get you sometimes quite interesting things, even white on white. It's off white on white. So let's see. Yeah, another really lovely texture. And it's picking up, you know, leftover bits around the edges. All of that kind of business is part of the magic of gel printing. I can probably pick up a little edge there that you could just put in as the edge of a journal plate. But it's now basically clean. One last little wipe, one last little wipe with a wet wipe or something like that will do the job. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of playtime that sort of spread out from its initial grassy intention. And I wasn't even planning to do this at all today. So there's a thing in there about following your creative heart. You may have plans, you may have ideas. If a change to those ideas comes up in your brain, follow it. Let what happens at the craft table happen. And at the very least, you'll end up with beautiful backgrounds that you can print over again if you don't find them beautiful. You can stamp over them, stencil over them, stick them into a journal page, tear them up. Particularly these kraft ones I think are going to be really good for tearing and using. Probably I won't tear that one, I might use that in its entirety. But this is slightly translucent. The ones on the tracing paper are obviously very translucent, and lots to play with. I will of course zoom in for a close-up. There will be details of the paints I've used in the description below and these gel plates, so that hopefully you can find them at an independent craft stockist near you if you're tempted to play. I can't send you any grasses, I'm afraid, in the post. It's not allowed. But yeah, shop your stash for paper that might have got lost in the piles. Go out in your garden or for a walk and just see there's grasses by the wayside at the moment if you're in the northern hemisphere, and probably many leaves. I don't know if you're in the southern hemisphere. I didn't get round to using those. Those are strawberry leaves. So many wild strawberries coming in the garden. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for your company and happy crafting all. Look at that. Yeah, if your fingers are painty by now, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Happy crafting.